birthdays. Riley's got the birthday this week. Riley Andrews, he's not here at all. And also Mike Savoy. Oh, that birthday this week. No member anniversaries. Are there any guests here today? No guests? Any visiting Rotarians? No visiting Rotarians. All right. So last week, National Food Day was National White Chocolate Day. I left some white hugs. They call them hugs. I call them kisses at the dinner. So hopefully y'all got those. Today is National Mulled Cider Day. Does anybody know what mulled means? Come on, man. Now you people get on make cider. Y'all make cider. So mulled means warm and spicy. So that'd be like spiced tea, spiced cider. National Mulled Cider Day today.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, John. All right, as we begin with our Rotary tips and education, last time we talked about sponsors of a new member and the role of a sponsor. This week, we're going to be talking about women in Rotary. So it wasn't until 1989 that the Constitution and bylaws of Rotary International stated that Rotary Club membership was only males only. In 1978, actually, when it all started, the Rotary Club of Daughters in California invited 3 women to become members. The RI board withdrew the charter of the club for violation. They did.
What year was that?
That was in 1978. They withdrew the charter of the club for violation of the Rotary International Constitution. The club brought suit, of course, against RI, claiming a violation of state civil rights law, which prevents discrimination of any form in business, establishments, or public accommodations. The appeals court and the California Supreme Court supported the California position that Rotary could not remove the club's charter merely for inducting women into the club. So the United States Supreme Court upheld the California court, indicating that Rotary clubs do have a quote-unquote business purpose and are in some ways public-type organizations. This action in 1987 then allowed women to become Rotarians, and in any jurisdiction having similar public accommodation statutes. The RI constitutional change was actually made, as I said, in 1989, Council on Legislation, with a vote to eliminate the quote-unquote male-only provision for all of Rotary. Pretty interesting. So today, our Rotary Club here in Abbeville, we are a solid 61 members total. That includes our noon club and our Vermilion After Hours Club. Within that Rotary Club of Abbeville, we have 14 women, which puts us at 23%, which is pretty good. That is actually pretty close to where, I don't know if you may know, pretty close to where Rotary International is in general, about 23-24%. And their goal is to get within 30%. Okay, that's right. We could do better. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So we're in a good spot here in Abbeville, and going to continue to move forward. So again, as we talked about last week, make sure from a sponsor perspective, we cannot bring any new Rotary members into the club if they do not have a sponsor. So please continue to invite. Whit?
Does anybody remember who the first female member of the Abbeville Rotary Club?
Rhonda Pennington.
Rhonda Pennington.
Right.
And I'll never forget it because this lady also happy to have her in the club. And those that you know are really so everybody else knows. The program, the first meeting she came to.
Oh, yeah?
The program
So we've come a long way.
He brought the bill, take care of the guy, and then he got in trouble because he got it with no proof.
So sorry, I guess, which is normally not normal. It's not a normal meeting.
So,
No, it's all good.
good deal. Oh, all right. So,
Tidbit about that.
next line of business, we're happy to announce that, yes, I'm
One
sorry.
other tidbit.
Yes, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
Steve Vedder was the president.
Yeah.
And one of our members, I don't want to say, came up to Steve and said, well, if y'all going to let a woman in this club, I'm going to resign. And Steve Vedder, without blinking an eye, says, we're really going to miss you. And he did resign.
Wow. That's interesting. We need to have some more of these stories. That's some good
Some
stuff.
of them we can't go.
So, I'm pleased to announce this is the end of the first quarter of our year, and we're moving into second quarter. And without further ado, I think with all the feedback that I've gotten, we will be continuing with Don's catering into the second quarter of the year. So, Don, start cooking. Update on Cattle Festival. I want to thank those of you who came and assisted with the Cattle Festival fundraiser. Needless to say, it was phenomenal, a phenomenal success, and the feedback from the community was so great. I want to thank those of you who were there. Please stand. Please stand. Richard, thank you all very much. Annette, thank you all so much for your help. It was greatly appreciated. Brady's not here. Brady was there from the beginning to the end as well. We received a thank you letter from Francis thanking us, helping support them, and certainly he's not confused that it would not have been as success as it was if we wouldn't have been involved. A big thank you to Gulf Coast Bank as well. So they brought in sales and donations, $8,900 and profited just under $6,800. So very big success, and will take them a good long way.
I just want to make a quick comment. I want to thank the board and everybody else who was involved with that, and Robert and everybody else. We came together. The Cattle Festival originally came to us wanting a $500 donation. So in the big scheme of things, we kind of helped them to move forward and raise a whole lot more than $500. So thanks to everybody that helped.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much. Again, that's a big round of applause. Hurricane relief raffle tickets. This is the last week we're going to, before I get to that, this is the last week we're going to collect items from our 6 drop sites. The plan is to, I did get a needs assessment from Lynn Guillory. It was not, I'm not going to go there, but it was a little bit of information. So I'm going to get the supplies needed and be able to go this weekend is the plan and hand out supplies needed to the evacuees in the hotel. The thought was potentially to cook for them. I don't think there's as many as we thought here still. There's maybe 30 something in the hotel. So we'll look at that and I'll kind of collaborate with the board after today to see if there's something we would want to do. Maybe do a small spaghetti or something on Sunday or whatever to assist with that. Also going to get with Lynn because I know there was other organizations and people that were coming in and setting up. I don't know if we know anything off the top of our head, so I'll get with Lynn. The raffle tickets, those are still underway and still for sale. We got them now. Roy got them printed and with the assistance of Don helped with that. Don helped with this also.
Rob just picked them up.
I do have several people who have put their name down to purchase some. Again, it's $25 a chance or $100 for 5.
No, we're not doing 100.
We're not doing it no more?
No. By state law, because we went through the state board, you can't give away something. It has to be. It has to be. You understand what I'm saying? You want to have a checks and balances if you give one away. How you going to keep track of it?
Okay. So $25 a chance.
Got it.
All right. So with that that may change a couple of things here, I don't know, but I have people who have put down for some. Please take them, put your name, tear it off, give it to Rob, and he will get that to Brian Campbell for the drawing, which is supposed to occur on October 31st. Yes, at 7 p.m. Okay? So please get with me if you purchase tickets after the meeting, so we can get that taken care of.
Hey, you don't want to just pass them around, Chris, so they can start filling?
Yeah, if you want. Those of you who purchase, you can start filling it out. Those of you who would want to purchase any, please let Rob know, and you can fill it out right there today, and we can bill you on your invoice, next quarter invoice for that. Okay, next, I want to, first off, it's extremely important that as our Rotary clubs each year strive to meet our goals that we set. And we, as a Rotary club, last year set goals. Robert Greer, as the president, set goals for the Rotary club, and needless to say, no one knew that COVID was going to hit. And continue to move forward and push through and do what we needed to do as an organization. And did an extremely proud job, and have to say that those goals were set and those goals were met. So I am very honored. I'd like to call Robert Greer up. This award was previously called the Presidential Citation Award, but it is now called Rotary Citation Award. But all in all, you led the club, Robert, and brought us forward. So I'm proud to say that for 2019, 2020, we received the Rotary Citation and awarded to the Rotary Club of Abbeville.
More to all of us. You guys have been with me long enough to know I can't do this by myself. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. I don't know if Lloyd has the statistics on how many years in a row that is. We'll find it out, yeah. That's okay.
Hey, Chris,
Yes.
you might want to mention that we're going to bill for the tickets.
Yes, I did say it. Yeah, so if you want a ticket, we will, that's next. If you want a ticket, we will bill you on your Rotary invoice. Don't worry about paying that today. So please just, those are going around at $25 a chance. Next on the agenda, and I got 3 minutes left. Po' boy sales are underway. I got you, Paul. Po' boy sales are underway. Annette Mudd, our president-elect, is in charge of our po' boy sales and gathering the tickets and funds and keeping track of that also. She's passed out the tickets there. She has those, and we will continue to get that out. As we go into, we will talk about it as we get closer, we'll start calling the businesses and making sure that we have that business list. Your help with that will be greatly appreciated. This will be on October 30th, Friday, October 30th. Mark it on your calendars. We will need volunteers to assist. Gulf Coast Bank has been contacted.
They have been contacted, yes.
So we will get the tent there, and we will get that in the square. Annette,
if you want to charge your account, just on your envelope that I gave you, just put the charge, sign it, give it back to me, and I'll charge you for the tickets, and you can do what you want, or you can sell it and return it to me. Either one.
okay. Any questions on the po' boy sale? Okay. And the last thing is Rotary Night Out, because we're moving in October. Is that still going to be?
Yes, yes.
Rotary Night Out. I'll let Annette talk to you about that.
Rotary Night Out this year, since it's mine and it's my baby, I decided I'm going to do a Halloween costume party. So on Halloween, here at the hall, we will do a costume. Come in your costume, whatever you want to be, whatever you desire to be.
don't have anything to do Friday night, I invite y'all to come out to Wildcat Stadium. Wildcats are going to be playing BC on Friday night. First time I have those hosted BC at our stadium in quite some time. Hopefully the turnout or the outcome is a little bit better than last year from the Wildcat standpoint. So actually I'm going to try to support us. Yes, there's going to be a limited seating. Yeah, I would suggest earlier there might be still a few tickets available, but I think we can only do 600 on the home side, 400 on the visitor side. Not sure about that. I can try to find out.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, right on time.
How y'all doing today?
Great.
How we doing today?
We doing
Excellent. All right. Today we have two speakers today. I'm going to attempt to pronounce the name right on the first guy, first person. Sorry, Mr. Ron Czerwowski. Okay, he is a coalition coordinator for the Acadiana Regional Transportation Safety Coalition. He served in the Lafayette Police Department for 33 years and retired as the rank of major. Ron holds positions in every division of the department, including supervisory and rank positions. Ron's career highlights included helping to establish Hearts for Hope, overseeing the field training unit and training unit, and his participation in establishing and rewriting the policies and procedures for the Lafayette Police Department. Miss Ashley Moran, she has been a transportation planner with the Lafayette Consolidated Government and Acadiana Planning Commission for the past 15 years, or more than 15 years. She graduated with a master's in urban planning in the University of New Orleans in 2005 and received her certification from the American Institute of Certified Planners in 2007. Ashley primarily works in data analysis and a project development for the Acadiana MPO. Please give a warm welcome today for our guest speakers.
Mr. Czerwowski we had an emergency safety issue that happened last night, so I think he's doing some coordination right now between, sorry? Oh, no, I got it with it. Yeah. All right, so, and he'll be stepping in as soon as he finishes, that particular task we have that came up, right when he left. So what is the Safety Coalition? Well, every region of the state has a Safety Coalition, and what they are is the implementation arm of the State Highway Safety Plan. And so the State Highway Safety Plan is a plan that was developed by the Department of Transportation and Development, the Louisiana Highway Safety Commission, and the Louisiana State Police to really tackle highway safety in Louisiana. And so as part of our work, we have 5 emphasis areas. We have infrastructure, impaired drivers, occupant protection, young drivers, and our newest area, distracted driving. So what we do is we try to bring together groups, diverse groups, in order to mitigate our crash problems in Acadiana. And their goal of our plan is to reduce fatal and serious injury crashes by 50% by 2030, which is an ambitious goal, but we are working slowly to get there. As we go on, fatal and serious injury crashes are going down. But it is happening a little bit more slower. We're trying to accelerate that, and that's why we're trying to work together with everyone. So primarily, our coalition is made up of 4 E's: engineers, law enforcement, And then there's kind of a lull in the beginning of the year, and it kind of picks up in state cars. But we are making good progress in our accidents. They are going down. And this is one that we work primarily with engineers to tackle. We incorporate them in the roadway project. So we work with the local DOT district office and local governments in the region to kind of put together how we're going to address this. And the big thing the district's been doing, the district DOT recently got some funding, and they're going to be implementing this soon, putting rumble strips on these two-lane undivided roadways, which is really effective at reducing those type of crashes. Things like striping. Striping is a lot higher for what we call retroreflectivity, is really effective at addressing these crashes. And then we actually did this kind of neat analysis where we looked at kind of an odd crash type, which is called the back and T crash, but at a T intersection, someone going straight through. We have a project to mitigate that. And I just have a few slides that kind of illustrate how well these kind of things work. I'm sure y'all are familiar with rumble strips. I know they're very commonly deployed in the area.
Great system.
Oh, good.
Wakes me up all the time.
That's they're really good. The only countermeasure we have from an engineering perspective that addresses distracted driving. When you're on your phone, I mean, you feel it, you know? And it just kind of shakes people awake. That's why we're putting them in some places at intersections, that back and thing I mentioned. They have a lot of intersections, will look at their phone, they're not paying attention, they go straight to the back and T intersection. So we're putting in some rumble strips, some targeted locations in order to shake those people awake, get them to be paying attention. And then this is kind of the curve delineation. When you're driving along at night, it's hard to see the intersection, it's hard to see the roadway curves. And this kind of shows how the retroreflectivity allows the car lights to pick it up and show how the road's curving, especially in our rural areas where it's dark.
Actually, they have those on the main road, or warning you that you're approaching 167.
Yes,
And
yes.
they're extremely low.
Oh, good.
They are not.
Yeah. No, we actually have a very proactive district that's really good about addressing it. So with our intersection crashes, we have our primary calls the right angle or T-bone crash. Obviously, that's a very vulnerable crash to be in. High levels of high rates of fatal serious injuries with those crashes. They're a little bit, they can be very expensive to address those issues as opposed to roadway departure crashes. Our primary things right now to address those are J-curve projects. You know, we have to I'm sure y'all are very familiar with the big project in 167 right now. That's supposed to reduce. It's going to be, y'all, unfortunately, that area of 167 is a lot of fatal and serious injury crashes. So hopefully, really hoping this will address that with those type of intersection crashes. And backlight on signals, those are pretty cheap. It's basically, I have a slide showing how they work with the next one. They're actually really effective. They basically highlight the signal. And flashing yellow arrow, that's a new countermeasure. I know y'all have one over here on 14 that y'all have seen, and it prevents people from, they know they don't have much time to make a left turn, or they know that they have to yield while making that left turn. It's something that people are just not aware of. They think when they see a green light, they can go, no. When you're making, you have a lot of signals that have a green ball, but it's not a green arrow. Green ball, that you're not protected from making that left turn. Oncoming traffic will not stop. That's what the flashing yellow arrow is designed to prevent. It's designed to alert you that, hey, you are have to yield to oncoming traffic. And this is kind of just an example. And of course, roundabouts, you don't have any in this area. We have a lot in Lafayette.
They've been popping up everywhere.
Yes, we have a lot in Youngsville, especially.
That's a beautiful thing, roundabout.
Yeah. Very effective, very effective.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that, the reason they work so well is you can put signs in the whole intersection, but people have to obey those signs. And that's the difficulty in getting people to, when we have things like that, putting up signs, because you're relying on someone else making that choice to obey that sign. With this roundabout, you cannot drive through it. It will be stopped. see it as Highway Safety Commission funds, they've done a study every year where they look at the rates of seatbelt usage. We know in Acadiana, it's around 87 to 90%. But our fatal and serious injury crashes, we have about 50 to 60 people not wearing seatbelts. So it's a very small group of people that are dying from it. It shows how vulnerable it makes you to not wear a seatbelt. So always wear your seatbelt and encourage others to wear your seatbelt. Make sure your children are properly restrained in the right child safety seat. Because there's very few things you can do in a day that can prevent you from dying unless you wear a seatbelt. But then everybody gets in the car every day, you always have a chance of getting a fatal serious injury crash. And then that seatbelt reduces your chance of dying by 50%. So what are we doing with that? One of the big things, one of the big reasons I like to do outreach to Rotary groups is because we encourage businesses to adopt a seatbelt policy. When they're having people driving around company time, we have examples on our website, Acadiana.org. I can email them to you. But we really encourage businesses to adopt a seatbelt policy. And we have a similar one for distracted driving. It really reduces reliability, insurance discounts. It's a big thing because we do have a lot of crashes that happen while people are on business time. We're also getting more community members trained and certified in child safety seats, primarily our law enforcement. One odd thing is people think that if you go to a fire station, they'll have people there trained. In Acadiana, we don't have anyone officially trained that works with fire officials. So don't go to a fire station. Try to live law enforcement agencies. And then again, our enforcement campaign, look at our ticket, buckle up in your truck. The reason we have buckle up in your truck is because the Highway Safety Commission has studied it and determined that males in trucks are the least likely to wear seatbelts. So we have a campaign geared towards males in trucks. So please, if you're a man driving a truck, please wear a seatbelt. Let's get those numbers down. That honestly, if I could get everyone to wear a seatbelt, we can get our numbers down in Acadiana significantly. So this is young drivers. Obviously, that's a big issue. This happens. Young drivers fail in serious injury crashes and happen just more often through the week. A lot of times they're going to school. We have many fatalities in Acadiana of kids driving to school. Extremely devastating. Huge loss of potential life. It does tend to spike around March, April, May, June, July, summertime to kids. Things get to be a little bit more relaxed. We actually have Young Driver Safety Week coming up in a couple weeks, so be on the lookout for that. So what do we do with that? We do a lot of driving school training. We're driving schools to provide them the latest and greatest information on highway safety. We're trying to hold the Young Driver Safety Day at UL. We got held up with COVID, but that's kind of our long-term plan. Is in a couple weeks or months we're going to try that again once the restrictions are lifted. And we do work out a lot with area high schools. We provide outreach to high schools, try to coordinate law enforcement coming to speak. Again, things that were easier before COVID than after COVID. I would say that's a good, it's legal, I mean, it is legal to use the hands-free phone, so I would say it's a good alternative, just personally, and I use it too. So what do? We have our distracted driving campaign, the one I mentioned about the music contest. We have an enforcement campaign, because if you cannot have your cell phone in your hand when you're in school, that's completely illegal. And we do have law enforcement agents that will go out and do that enforcement. And then we have promoting distracted driving policy companies, no cell phone use while driving, or no cell phone in hand policy while driving, so developed by the National Safety Council. And then again, our distracted driving contest to help them drive.
Allstate insurance, our insurance, I don't know if anybody probably knew that or not, but they have a campaign that you put the app on your phone and it monitors you when you're driving, your heart braking, your acceleration, and I actually got a check for $259 because of the driving. It also tracks if there's any phone activity on the phone while you're driving.
You can wait, the You Can Wait campaign.
Yeah.
You have to pay more if it doesn't work out too good.
No, there's no fines on it yet.
Actually, I have to say now, they asked me for 200.
Yeah.
Your car wasn't fast enough, that's all it is.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was really pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's really costing the insurance companies a lot of money just having this room, I'm just saying.
Yeah, a lot of
It's
people-
really hitting their bottom line, because they have so many fractions that are caused by it. Yeah.
Actually, quick question. When you showed the roads, how you guys are even painting them, respecting them, how does that correlate with the cars that are now sensing the road? Is there something special you guys have to fit in the paint in order to
Yes.
make that happen?
Yes, they have those those cars can detect the color differences that are usually using like video technology or camera video sensitivity on the color. What we do is we put a lot of glass beads to add retro reflectivity into it, and they can kind of pick that up, and then they'll let you know. That's been a great technology that's been incorporated into newer motor vehicles, ability to pick it up. But they're mostly looking at the difference in the color between the roadway surface and the paint. But we have standard, it's all standardized. I can't promise that some jurisdictions aren't using their own thing, because you get some local governments that have kind of decided to just get a paint can and can't paint out from the bottom. I'm just serious. Like, but for dealing with state or federal money, it's standard. We have special for that. Sorry, a lot.
Should we assume that the crash data is initiated by a police report, accident?
Yes. All crashes in our system come from local law enforcement agencies that use a system called Crash, and they upload it into the database, a program at LSU. And what LSU has a Center for Analytics and Transportation Safety. What they do is they clean all of that and make sure it's correct, and press locations, all that kind of stuff before we get it. It's about a year lag before we get most crash data, because they want to make sure they have to report to the federal government the cleanest best data. So they spend a lot of time making sure it's accurate. That's consistent.
Judge, did you say it's now illegal to drive with a cell phone in your hand?
It is, yes. Now you can. I'm not saying you can't get out of it, but yes, I mean you can get up to a fine of $500. Now some people, there are some excuses, I guess, to say, not if you're in a school zone. If you're in a school zone, if you're using it for navigation or some other reason, that's not allowed. If you're in a school zone, you cannot have a cell phone in your hand. We do this every year, back to school enforcement, law enforcement agencies, and they do go out and they write tickets. They can be up to $500. If you're in a school zone and you have this in your hand. Now, like I said, there are some exceptions when you are operating outside of the school zone. But they do ticket pass too. If the law enforcement agents feel that you were not following the roadway code.
Vito?
Yeah, how's the drive-through bars rate on your radar as far as crashes?
Well, we do actually, when we do impaired driving, I do a lot of mapping of that. And we look for hotspot areas. We have a lot of areas. There's one particular infamous bar in Lafayette, it's kind of in the country. I'm not going to say what it is, but it's to accommodate some changes they're making to West Broussard and 167. I'm not sure when the final date is. It's gonna probably be soon. I don't know the project parish on status of like, if they have to go back and make some changes. I know the striping was not finished. The striping was incomplete. It wasn't consistent with the standards. They're gonna have to go back and do some stripe work on this part. But on the northern part, but I know they're gonna be putting in some current facilities and stuff around West Broussard. But they're also gonna be prohibiting, if you're going north on West Broussard, you will not be able to make a left. You have to make a right, and then you turn around to go south of them. So they're making some adjustments to that intersection, adding new pavement and stuff.
So what about south of Moran on 167?
Listen, I think they have some striping work still to do. I'm not sure when that. I apologize for that.
I know this is maybe different, but this still talks about the, from the airport to 49, seeing the an overpass or doing something from that.
I have not heard of that, to be
bypass,
honest. I have not heard, I know that they were gonna do some raising, they want to do some raising of it.
Event, like they mentioned throughway.
No, it's more like some drainage.
Oh.
I think it was drainage work.
But you remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anything more of that.
Your grandkids will be around.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.